Hi. We are identity verification service, and this is what our story looks like with the current enterprise solution in Georgia. We have 25 clients, we have 4,000 verifications a day, and from 22 to 25 monthly recurring revenue. What we are offering to our clients is liveness check, document verification, geolocation reports, email database integrations, face matching, control center, automate, and manual flows. What problem we see currently? We see the competition for sure, but we see the big companies like Jumio, Onfido, Ondado, Verif in this domain. But choosing an integrating verification solution for small and medium businesses, it's time consuming and costly. What it means that mostly they have a closed pricing models and difficult integrations, and like you need to request for a demo, request for price quote, and analyze components, API docs, and then you start the process. What is our goal? Our goal is to make our solution to introduce on the marketplaces and to create no-code verification tools. We need to introduce in a Shopify, Wix, on WordPress, and Intercom marketplaces. And great news in this month is that Facebook announced WhatsApp Business Cloud API, and our first mission is to create verification tool for businesses who use a WhatsApp for communication channel. It should be very easily integrated. It should work with small volumes, affordable and available for smaller customers, and without integration fees. There are more than 5 million businesses using WhatsApp, and especially extremely popular in Latin America and India. And main verticals and use cases, what we see in these domains are car and health insurance companies, car leasing companies, and gyms. By estimations for 2025, the global market will increase by 16 billion. And as we see, COVID accelerated also a digital transformation of businesses. And by 2025, 80% of organizations will using document-centric proofing. Team, I'm a CTO. I have more than 10 years experience in engineering. I already have one file and one exit. And he's my friend, co-founder. And he has more than 10-year experience in a business and 8-year experience in the banking. We are seeking 700,000 with 5 million valuation, and money will be used for sales team and marketing, for growth hacking, and to hire another employees, and for research and development to keep up with market evolution. Thanks, and ready for questions.
Thank you. So I think we've talked a little bit about this idea of storytelling and hooking people in. I think oftentimes when people especially have a very technical business, it's like they want to jump right in and tell you exactly what's going on. And again, you need to kind of like lead us to that water of tell us a little bit about the problem in the market. Help us understand exactly what identity solutions and verification is and who's using it and how it's being used. I think where I struggled a little bit was you mentioned 5 or 6 other competitors in there, and I was having a hard time visualizing your wedge, right? So I think you talked about WhatsApp and WhatsApp integration in some marketplaces, and I got the sense that perhaps that was an area of differentiation that other people aren't doing. But I think completely understanding what your wedge is in this market could be really helpful in there. And like I said, I would just lead in with the story of this is exactly what we're talking about. This is how it's being utilized today. This is where we sit within this market frame, because it's clear that the tech's built out and that you have an interesting product in there, but I was having a hard time following exactly what you were doing that was substantively different from, we probably looked at 10 or 15 identity verification software or solutions in the past, and so help me contextualize, particularly in this market, what's substantively different.
Yeah, thank you. What we are doing is like, right now we have an enterprise solution, like businesses as I just like mentioned the competition. And what we are doing is like to be like a more easy way to integrate with the no-code tools. And mostly, you know, like it takes like a 1 month, from 1 month to 2 months to integrate the solutions in your fintech company, or you are a bank or some in other stuff, because it's more like hard, like API integrations and price codes, and they are expensive. And mostly they are not giving a solution for like for small verifications. Like if you want like a 100 verification per month, you cannot get it. Like, but here we are, like we want to change this, and we want to be at first easily integrate and like more flexible to just like with drag and drop from marketplace and for your landing page, and you can start verification for your client. Yeah, that's it.
Good overall. Obviously, you have a product that's, you've got some competitors in the industry to Chris's point, I think just kind of identifying where that differentiator is and maybe spending some time on this is what they do, this is what we do different. Your ask in terms of where that money's going to go and everything else, pretty clear, concise, et cetera. I think for me, the biggest thing is understanding your strengths and your weaknesses individually. And what I mean by that is you have a team, right? It's you and your business partner and then 4 others based on your slide. I know when I was going through pitches myself, the passion I had about what we are doing here was evident simply because that was my background, that was my experience. So that came through fruition clearly and easily. But then I relied on other team members to kind of go into the data points, and this is how this system works, and this is where the platform is, and everything else, because that wasn't my expertise. So I know it's only one person up here today, but obviously your background in the engineering side and kind of putting that program together is pretty clear. I bet you if we spent some time in a room, you can walk us through it literally from A to Z perfectly. And we'd be like, oh, okay, this is awesome in terms of what you built. But having maybe other team members kind of engage as well, and I know you can't do it today, but meaning for future as to, wow, this is how the product really helps within our society, and this is where those can be identified through our product and everything else. Because I think at the end of the day, you're able to explain the product really well, but at the same token, we still want to evoke that emotion and how does this work, and why would I invest in this versus any of those other competitors, and what's going to make that difference that's really going to leave you standing better 10 years from now as opposed to not, those types of things. But again, overall really good. I think you hit on those markers in the 4 minutes you had for the most part, so we appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Thank you.